What is up, Pretty Fit fam? Welcome back to another YouTube video. You guys already see by the title of the video what we're getting into today. I am going to be telling you guys how much it costs to enter into the world of bodybuilding, to enter into a competition if you are a first timer, okay? So without further ado, let's get right into it because the numbers matter and you guys are going to want to stay tuned to the very end to hear the total cost. So let's get right into the video. But before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the Pretty Fit Life channel. Of course, like this video and drop a comment down below if you guys want to see more videos just like this. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, y'all, I have all of my pricing right here on my phone. I took notes as I was going through because I knew this video was going to be important for anybody who is a first timer who wants to compete in their first bodybuilding competition. These numbers are super important to know because you're going to want to save money. You're going to want to know the numbers because bodybuilding is an expensive sport. Just like any other sport, it's all expensive, okay? So let's get started with the very first thing, registering for a show. So it's different across the board for every show that you register for. I registered for an OCB show. So that is the lowest, I guess you say like the lowest category of bodybuilding because it's OCB, NPC, and then IFBB, and then of course like Olympia or whatever. So OCB is the lowest like tier of the organizations. And that's what I entered into. Now I don't know if the costs are different for different organizations. All I know is what I paid for to register for a show, register for a specific show on a specific date. So what I paid for to register for a show was $208. Okay, that's the first expense, is registering for a show. Knowing when you want to register for a show, planning ahead and having to pay for the show, because if you are not ready for the show or you have a coach and they say, yeah, no, like you need to have more time to get ready, blah, 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 whatever the case is, but you need to make sure that you project way out. I would say at least 6 months out to know that you're going to be prepared for that show. So, and if you register late, you could be hit with a late fee. I don't know how many days after the late fee is. I registered literally the day the show, like the deadline of the show. I registered that day to make sure that I was good and ready for the show that I just competed in. But the late fee for me, if I would have registered the day after the deadline, would have been like $75, I think. But you can still register. You can register, I think, up until like a week before the show, or maybe like a day before the show or something like that. I really don't know, but all of them are different. Just make sure you're reading the guidelines and the rules and regulations for that specific show, whether you're doing OCB, NPC, or even IFBB. But if you're a first timer, you're gonna wanna make sure that you know those things. So look ahead in advance. You can literally go to OCB online, like .com, like their website, and they have a whole list of shows that's across the country. I think some of them are even out of the country as well if you're overseas. So something to make sure you definitely look out for is registering for the show. Okay, next one. The next cost is paying for a membership. So again, different costs for different things. So OCB membership for me was $115. So with this membership, it lasts me a year. So I purchased my membership maybe like a week or two before my show. So for OCB, you have a full year to compete in competition. So I have until next June of 2025 to compete in any OCB show across the country or overseas or whatever, and my membership will be good. So the next show that I compete in, I won't have to pay for a membership, so it'll be a little bit less. Now NPC is a little bit different. You have from January to December to compete in shows no matter what time of year that you buy your membership for NPC, to my knowledge. This is just what my coach told me. You have from January to December. So for example, if you bought your membership in June, like I bought my membership in June, I only have the rest of 2024 from June to December to compete in a show in NPC at that level at NPC. So it's a little bit different for every organization. Now, I don't know about IFBB. I'm a beginner. I don't know anything. I'm just telling you guys what I paid for and what my knowledge is so far. So if you're going to compete in OCB to start, whenever you buy your membership, and this is also good advice. I'm glad I bought mine closer to my show, because now I have until next June to compete if I decide I want to compete again, which I will. But I have until next June to compete in a show until I have to renew my membership or whatever that the case is. So just something to look into. The membership was $115. Okay. The very next thing we're going to talk about is the prettiest thing, besides me being the prettiest thing on stage. We're going to talk about the suit. Okay. So different companies offer different pricing, different styles of suits. Of course, I competed in the wellness division, so I had to make sure that my suit was tailored specifically to that division. And all of them are going to be a little bit different. Like if you compete in figure, bikini and wellness are a little bit the same, but figure is going to be a little bit different. Physique might be a little bit different. I'm not too familiar with all of the different sizing and stuff, but I do know that wellness was a specific bottom. You had to have a specific cut for the bottom. So that's just something to look out for when you're buying your suit. I got my suit. This is not sponsored, by the way, but they did me so great. They were so great to me. I got my suit. You guys know, if you watch my peak week day 2 vlog, you will see what company I went with my suit, and it was so beautiful. My suit was freaking gorgeous. They didn't upcharge me for changing the color. They were so communicative, all that good stuff. So make sure you watch my peak week day 2 vlog, just back from my first show. Make sure you watch that vlog to see what company that I went with, because that is a really good company. Super communicative. The suits were beautiful, all online, all well priced. For my suit, I paid $337. That price included shipping. I didn't get upcharged, like I said, for my color change. That's something that you're going to want to communicate with them. I don't know if they'll upcharge on the site, but I communicated beforehand and emailed them and said, hey, I like a color of a different suit. You don't have it in this style suit. You don't have this color in this style suit, but I really want this color. I just made sure I communicated that with them because I know what I wanted going into it. So just something to think about. A bunch of different companies are really good. Just make sure you're doing your research, talk to your coach, and make sure you're asking what companies are good, what companies they have went with. Make sure you're ordering your suit as well very early. I ordered my suit maybe 5 to 6 weeks out, and I got my suit literally the week of my show. So just making sure that if you are planning on competing, that you're looking at suits very early on, and you're also ordering your suit very early on, because you don't have to buy all this stuff all at once. You can kind of, buy it a little bit at a time. But the suit is very important, and you also want to make sure that you're ordering it early, and you also getting it early to try it on to make sure everything fits correctly, because if it fits not so well, you're kind of screwed, because once you get closer to your show, you can't order really another one unless you have 2 suits, whatever, but that can be very expensive. So like I said, I paid $337 for my suit, which is not bad compared to a lot of the suits that some pros buy, which can be up to $1,000 for a suit. So that's on them, but I only paid $337 for my suit. So something to think about. All right, next let's talk about posing. Okay, for posing, I invested into a posing coach because I knew nothing about posing. Now mind you, YouTube is a great place to learn poses, but you're going to want to invest in a posing coach, because the videos that you're watching, those coaches on there, they're telling you how to do the pose. So you can get an understanding, an idea of how to hit a certain pose, but your posing coach is going to know what angle looks best for you, how to adjust your arm, what flows naturally when you have a routine. What flows naturally, what looks the best from your side. You can look in the mirror all day and think that you look good here, but your posing coach is gonna be like, okay, no, you look better on the opposite side. Let's try it this way. Let's do it this way, to get you to look your best in front of judges and in front of the audience as well. So you're gonna wanna invest in a posing coach, and I invested $160. I got 3 sessions for that $160, and all those sessions were 30 minutes, which was the perfect amount of time, because if you're posing and you decide to buy like hour-long sessions, one, your feet are gonna hurt, especially if you're not used to walking in heels. Two, you're gonna not be used to hitting the poses for very long. Now, if you wanna go and spend like for an hour long of posing, you can do that by all means. If you wanna be, you know, perfect your craft more, perfect, do that. But I started off, if you're starting off like me, I was trying to be efficient with my money. So I only spent $160, and that got me 3 sessions, and it was 30 minutes. It also is dependent on how fast of a learner that you are and how coordinated you are, because I learned really quick. I learned super duper quick. You could tell me probably 1 or 2 times to hit it a certain way, because I was a dancer as a kid. I used to dance as a kid, so choreography was kind of always embedded into me. So having that, I just had to practice it like 1,000 times, and I practiced it on my own, and it was perfect. So I love my routine. I could work on some things, of course, going forward, but investing in a posing coach is going to be really, really good. So I paid $160, and that got me. So find a local posing coach where you are, and that'll benefit you so much if you find a local posing coach. All right. Next thing, let's talk about, heels. Duh, that was the next thing that was on stage. Your heels, okay, so heels are gonna range from wherever you get them from. I got my heels from, I think, the Shoe Fairy or something like that website. But I'm pretty sure I ordered them off of Amazon because they have a bunch of heels. I didn't get the heels that didn't have the strap that go across your ankle, not the ones that you could just slip into, because after a while of you posing, your feet get sweaty sometimes. You want to stretch your heels out. That's another thing, is figure out how to stretch your heels out. But for me, the only way to stretch my heels was to wear my heels. So it's going to hurt at first, but stretching your heels out, you wear them often, making sure that you're walking in them, making sure that you're practicing them, and learning how to walk in your heels, especially them being a certain length, depending on how tall you get your heels. That can be really difficult for a lot of women who are not used to walking in heels. Was I used to walking in heels that were that tall? Absolutely not. But walking in them and posing every single day, learning to how to feel it on the ground, being that high up. Mind you guys, I just sprained my ankle at the beginning of this year, so it was a little difficult at first. But you get used to it when you practice. Practice makes perfect. So making sure that you're walking in the heels. My heels cost me $160. Shout out to Bay. He actually paid for my heels for me. He looked out because he had Amazon Prime, so he was like, I can get them like in a couple of days. So I was like, perfect. But if you're not in that kind of situation where you have to pay for your heels on your own, I could have paid for them on my own, but thankfully I have a supportive partner who looked out and bought my heels for me, so it worked out. So heels cost $160. Okay, so there were heels that were a little bit less expensive, but I like what I liked, and they cost $160. So just get what you like as well. Same thing with the suit. Make sure you're getting what you like, make sure you're getting what you enjoy, and also what you can afford, because that plays a big role as well. Saving up for this, you guys, it's insane. So making sure that you're having a little bit of savings if you're gonna enter into a sport like this. Okay, all right, next thing, let's talk about my hair. Okay, let's talk about the hair. Okay, so I got my hair done, and it's already falling out, and I could have did all this on my own, but I wanted to feel like a princess. I wanted to feel like a queen that day, like the day before and the day of the show. So I went and got my hair done by my good sis. And locally here, where I live here in Richmond, Virginia, and I got my hair done, and it was so beautiful, but it literally fell hours later because my hair is too soft to like hold a curl. My hair is naturally curly, but when I get my hair straightened, it just doesn't hold a curl. So it's usually either straight or it's just curly. Curls, like loose, like beach wave curls, it doesn't hold on my hair because my hair is just so soft when it gets straightened. So, but I did get my hair done. It cost me $140, to get my hair done, which I had no problem paying. But if you're good at doing your own hair, you're gonna save a lot of money. I could have did my hair on my own, but like I said, I just wanted to feel like beautiful and pretty and like a princess, and I just was enjoying everything the week of like my peak week, and I was just enjoying everything. So I decided to just get my hair done. It worked out that way, and I didn't have to stress and do it myself. If you know how to do your hair, perfect. You can do your hair on your own, and you save yourself lots of time, lots of money. That's perfect. But I just got my hair done, and I could have did it on my own, but I know for next time I just probably do it on my own, so I don't have to spend that much money. So something to think about as well, if you want your hair done, if you know how to do your hair, if you don't know how to do your hair. So making sure you're thinking about that as well. All right, speaking of hair, we're talking about glam. Let's do my nails. Okay, so I got my nails done. I got my nails and my feet done. I'm going all out of order, guys, so just don't pay me any mind, but these are all the things. Okay, so I got my nails done, and you can get your nails all glammed up, but because you only have your nails done for the one time, I didn't want to get like it matched my suit, it has all this bling on it, all these different things. Now you could do that if you want to, but it's not going to match everything in your everyday life. That was just the way I thought about it. I didn't want to get something super fancy and it doesn't match the rest of my lifestyle, because that was just one day of my life. So I got a simple kind of French tip. This is literally what I always get. Like now, this is literally what I always get. And I got my toes like a pink color. I don't always have my toes out, but I thought that color was super pretty. It didn't even match my suit, but you could barely see my feet on stage. The judges couldn't see my toe color, so I just got a toe color that I like when I got my feet done. And I got a nice massage on my feet because I've been walking in heels, whatever. So got my nails done and my feet done, got like a nice pedicure, exactly what I needed. When you go to peak week, you're gonna wanna pamper yourself because you've been working so hard in the gym, you've been grinding, you've been working hard, you've been killing your nutrition, all those things. So you just wanna make sure that you're pampering yourself during peak week, because I enjoyed that so much when I pampered myself. My nails, got my feet done, I felt so good. So for my nails and my feet, my toes, I paid $120, and then I usually tip my person like $40 because she does my nails the same every single time, and she always does so good. She's so gentle with me. So I tipped my nail lady and it was perfect. So I paid pretty much $160 for my nails and my pedicure. So that was that right there. Moving on to my face. Okay, so the face was important because you have to smile when you're on stage and posing. Smile nice and big, confidence, right? So I got a facial done a couple days before my show, which was probably a mistake, but whatever. Next time I'll probably get it done like a week before, so like everything can surface nicely. But I wanted the facial done. I didn't really think about it, but I just wanted to feel good and have a nice fresh face before makeup was put on my face. So shout out to Bay again. He paid for this as well because just being generous and nice and supportive. So that was perfect. But again, you don't have to get this done. This is just something that I wanted done. And plus I had 2 big pimples on my face like 2 weeks ago, which really, really bothered me. And I didn't want to go on stage with these 2 huge pimples on my face. So I paid for a facial and it cost me $155, and I tipped the lady because she was so sweet, like $20. So $175 for my facial, again, done here locally. It was really good. It was like 3 hours long, and I just enjoyed every second of it. My face looked so good. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the before and after pictures that I posted. My skin was nice and glowy, nice and shiny, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a great experience. So I definitely recommend getting some stuff that you enjoy as a woman, as a female, to make yourself feel good, some self-care stuff during peak week. And that was one of those things that I really wanted. So making sure that you're also investing in your health and your self-care, taking care of yourself first. So got a facial, and that was $175. Okay, so now we're on our face. Let's talk about makeup. Okay, so when I registered for the show, they do offer hair and makeup to be done, but when I talked to people, they said that they actually don't like the hair and makeup that's usually done at the venue. So I said, okay, that's why I'm gonna get my hair done by somebody that I know I'm gonna like, tell them exactly what I want. Because the day of the show, if you get your hair and your makeup done and you don't like it, you can't really change your hair, especially that quickly. So I got my hair done like the day before, and if I didn't like it, I could have changed it. I could have washed my hair or something if I didn't like it. But if you decide to get your hair and makeup done there, just be considerate of that because they will charge you for your hair and your makeup. But I have a good friend who actually did my makeup. She did my makeup for me at my hotel. She came, drove all the way down from Northern Virginia, and she came and did my makeup. All I had to do was buy all the makeup. So she told me everything that I had to buy. And the good thing is I don't have to buy this stuff again. So if you already know how to do makeup, that's perfect. You don't have to worry about makeup. That's amazing. If you know how to do your makeup, perfect. You just saved yourself a bunch of money. But me, I don't wear makeup every day. The most I'll wear is like some mascara, maybe some lip gloss or something like that, and use my eyelash curler. That's pretty much it. I don't really wear makeup. I wear like a tinted sunscreen if I'm like going out, but other than that, I'm not a makeup girl at all. I don't know how to do makeup, which is something, again, I want to learn how to do, which I'm glad that she was able to show me. But thankfully she came and she did my makeup and it looked beautiful and I loved it. But I had to buy all the makeup, like I said, and that cost me a little over $200, but I'll just say $200 for now, give or take, because some stuff I had to return, some stuff didn't really like work. So I'll say like about $200 on makeup that I bought, but I never have to buy it again. So that's something also to think about. So if you know how to do makeup, perfect. If you don't and you want to get your makeup done, that's going to be an extra cost. You could be paying about $200, but that's an expense and you don't have all of the makeup. You don't know how to do it, all those things. You could also learn how to do your makeup before the show, get all the things yourself and do your own makeup. That's something you can also do. Totally up to you. You can go different routes with this, but thankfully I had my friend come and I ended up paying her as well. So like I gave her money because she drove down and she did my makeup and it was just beautiful and I was just in love with it. So just think about that. I paid about $200 for my makeup, but I never have to pay that again. And I can, in the meantime, I can learn how to do my own makeup. So, which is probably what I'm going to consider doing. If not, then I'll just have somebody like touch me up or something. But I have all the things that I need to figure out how to do my makeup on my own now. So that's also something to think about. Another expense right there. All right, let's talk about jewelry. So when you're there, you want to look all pretty and primp. I had rings on my finger. I had a nice bracelet. If you go back and watch my unboxing, you guys see all the jewelry that I got, and I literally got it from Amazon. And I'm pretty sure a lot of girls at that show got their jewelry from Amazon as well. They have one pack that has a pair of earrings, a ring, and a bracelet. So that's literally all you need is to just look fancy and, you know, pretty. I had some belly button rings, but I didn't end up putting them in. But on jewelry, I literally paid $40. So you can go on Amazon, look up that same kit, and you can pay $40 for those cute earrings, a couple of rings. I got a couple more rings because I like to wear rings, and a nice bracelet. And you could probably pay like an extra $10 for a bracelet on both arms if you want another bracelet. But I paid the $40 and I was happy with what I had. So that was just the jewelry, but you can find other jewelry if you want. And I promise you that jewelry was not real. It was fake, but it was only for the one time. It's only for stage. So something to think about. Make sure you have some nice jewelry. And if you want to compete again, maybe you could wear some different jewelry, but again, that's up to you. If you're a first timer, Amazon's going to be your best friend. Okay. All right. On to the next thing. So I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm still a little bit tan. This tan is not wearing off, and I'm still a little bit tan from my show. So tanning is going to cost you. Now, you can get tan. You can do self-tan on your own as long as you have some help. Self-tan is really good, but the venue will offer tanning as a service, and a lot of people end up going that route because you get tanned the day before. You also get tanned the day of, and they glaze you to look all shiny and stuff. But I learned a few tricks. My coach, who's an IFBB pro, make sure you guys have a good coach. My coach is like chef's kiss, like no other coach. But make sure that you have a good coach to tell you these things. Now that I know, you can actually go get tanned on an outside service. They say in the emails not to get a tan from an outside service, but you can get tanned as long as it's done correctly. If you are bare skin, your entire body has to be like no hair in order for the tan to stick. That's just what they told us. In order for the tan to stick, your skin has to be no hair. And this tan cost me $140, and that was in cash. So I had to have some cash. That's also another tip if you're a first timer. That's also another tip if you're a first timer, to have cash, because a lot of the services the day of, I had to have cash. Instead of paying with a card, they only accepted cash. So make sure that you have cash to pull when you actually get to your show day, because they don't allow like credit card payments. It was only cash. So and they'll tell you that in the email as well, but just to save some like tips, make sure that you have cash. Okay, and that was $140 in cash. Like I said, you could also do self-tan. You could also do an outside service, but just make sure it's done correctly. Okay, and then also the glaze. My coach came through and she glazed me, because they also offer glaze too, but my coach was like, no, it's gonna dry out. Make sure you have a good coach that knows a good glaze, because I think they just use like baby oil, but I guess it dries out. But my coach gave me a glaze and it was perfect. Chef's kiss. It was really good. So, but you could also get glaze at the venue as well if that's something that you want to do. The glaze, by the way, is literally just making you shiny, because you're all tan like this, but the shiny, like the complexion difference, also the shiny is going to make your muscles pop, so they can see it better while you're on stage, while those lights are shining on you. So that's just what glaze is called. It's just making you shiny, basically. So that cost me $140. All right. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. So the day of, well, let's not talk about the day of. Let's talk about the hotel. So your hotel, come show day, you're going to stay in a hotel probably the night before to check into the venue. Now, if you live in the area, you don't have to stay. Like if you do a show that's very local, like a show that's literally like 20 minutes away, you probably don't have to stay at a hotel. It's no need, because you're very, very close. But if you live like an hour away, like I did a show an hour away, I wasn't going to drive back home because I was there so late. So we ended up getting a hotel. I ended up buying a hotel, and that cost me about $215 for the night, because that weekend was so busy, because they had that event that weekend. So that's why there was such an upcharge, and I wasn't going to stay in no raggedy hotel. So I paid $215 for a hotel room. Got a king size bed. Make sure you guys watch my show day vlog, because you guys are going to want to know how to lay down your sheets and stuff and all that good stuff. So got a hotel room. Make sure you go watch my show day vlog to see how to set up your sheets and stuff, making sure you have your own whatever. So like I said, making sure that you have the hotel locked in, and make sure that you make reservations early, because like I said, the venue hotel was booked, and also the venue itself. So there was a venue hotel that we had to go to get tan, to do our polygraph test and stuff. That was booked out like way in advance. So make sure that you're staying on top of that. I booked my hotel kind of last minute, maybe like a month before we actually had the competition, or I actually had the competition. So it was a little bit last minute, but I wanted to make sure I was in a like good hotel, and of course making sure you have the money for it, because this stuff is not cheap. It's actually kind of expensive to compete in a bodybuilding competition. As it adds up, you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. So having the hotel, but again, if you stay close, if you're local, you don't have to spend a hotel. So that's another, expense. Also, if you're traveling out of state or out of the country, that's a whole different expense. But I competed in a show that was only an hour from me. So I'm telling you guys, my first show experience, I didn't really want to do it locally, because there's too many people here that I know, and I wanted my first show to be like my own experience, and not like everybody could see me who's here locally, could see, my performance and doing all this judging. My first show was really like about me. It was more of a me thing, and I just invited like people that I knew were just gonna support me and be there for me, and have supported me through this entire journey. So that's why I did it an hour away. It was perfect timing. I wanted to be in the summer, so I look good in the summer, so just think about all those things, right? So that's the hotel cost. So the polygraph is also going to cost you. So the polygraph test is literally, they're going to hook you up to a polygraph, and they're going to ask you questions. Have you taken anything, banned substances from the show? Would you lie about it? Blah, blah, blah. That's going to cost you. That cost me $60, and that was also cash only. So they're just going to ask you a bunch of questions, and if you basically fail the polygraph test, I think that you might not be able to compete in that show. Also, make sure you guys are not taking banned substances if it's a natural show. something also to think about. My coach did have me on a diuretic, and you guys seen that also in my vlogs, but it was literally it wasn't like a prescription diuretic. It was something that you can literally buy at Walmart, and I was taking it, and that's something that's not a banned substance. Now if you take a prescription one that has a certain amount of like chemical in it, that is considered not natural. I think you can do that for NPC, because you can start taking gear and stuff when you get to NPC. They probably do have some OCB shows that are not natural, but most, to my knowledge, most OCB shows are natural, because I think you can start taking gear once you get to NPC. And gear is steroids, just so you guys know, just to enhance your look, basically. But the polygraph test, like I said, $60. They're gonna ask you questions if you're taking banned substances, all those kinds of things. It literally took me 5 minutes, and he was like, you're good, you passed, have a great show, whatever. So that was that. And lastly, my coach cost. So I had to pay for my coach to get in. You only get, well, I only got one person that was able to be backstage with me, and of course I was going to be my coach, so she could walk me through everything. Mind you, my coach, you guys, is an IFBB pro, and I work at the gym. So I've talked about this on my channel before. My coach is awesome. I was an intern at her gym, and now I'm a coach at her gym, working for myself. She's an IFBB pro, amazing, such a sweetheart. She literally competed 2 weeks before I did, and she's ripped to shreds. She's freaking awesome. So that's all I have to say about that. My coach cost was $80 for her to be backstage with me, walk me through everything. So yeah, so that's pretty much all of the costs. This total, disclaimer, this total does not include things like my coaching from my coach, because my coach did not charge me to coach me, because I work at her gym. We had a verbal agreement like throughout the whole process that she wouldn't charge me. So she coached me basically for free. I didn't have any really in-person sessions with my coach, because I really didn't need her to train me in person. I trained on my own. She gave me my workouts. She emailed me my nutrition plans, all those things. She emailed me all of the supplements that she wanted me to take, maybe like BCAAs or protein that she wanted me to take. She emailed me my nutrition plans, and I did it pretty much on my own, of course, with her holding me accountable. I had check-ins every week. I had access to her app, and she just gave me feedback when I needed feedback. So that was pretty much the agreement that we had. So I don't count my coach's cost, the fee that she... All right, sorry, y'all. They are doing some serious work outside, and the dishwasher is going absolutely insane. But like I was saying, this cost doesn't include my coach's cost, because I didn't have to pay for coaching, which I'm so extremely grateful for. That's something that you're going to also need to consider. The first thing that you really need is a coach. If you're not a bodybuilder, if you're not a pro, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to need a coach in order to step on stage. So that's going to be one of the first things that you're going to have to think about is, I need a coach, because I need somebody to help me through this journey, because I don't know what bodybuilding entails. The intensity, the volume is different for bodybuilding. So you're going to want to invest into a coach. So thankfully that was something that I didn't have to pay for. Also, my total does not include my meal prep, because meal prep costs varied week to week. I did buy groceries. I tried to buy groceries for 2 weeks, so I have stuff like in advance, but my coach would send me meal plans. So that's just also something to think about. My meal prep cost weekly was around $100 a week. So think about that being like $400 a month if you living on your own or not on your own or whatever. But my meal plan, my meal prep was literally for me. I couldn't share it. I couldn't give any to my partner. Like, I couldn't share any of my meal prep, because that was for me. I had to cook for myself. I had to meal plan for myself. Now if you decide to go with a service, like a meal prep service, that's going to be a different cost. They're going to need to know your macros and all that different stuff. They're also going to need to know your calories, but it's just easier if you do it on your own and you learn how to track your food, how to weigh your food. It's literally not that hard. Your coach should be giving you your ounces in whatever protein, the amount of whatever carb you need. Like, for example, my coach, 3 ounces of salmon, a half a cup of rice, 1 cup of veggies or whatever. Your coach should be saying those things, because those calories matter in each thing, and your coach should be tapering you off of calories as you get closer, blah blah blah. Your coach should know. If you have a coach that's not telling you these things, get a different coach. I'm just saying, just get a different coach. And if your coach has never competed, get a different coach. Like, make sure you get somebody who is experienced, who has been in the game, who knows what they're doing. Preferably get a pro. Like, for real, get a pro to coach you, because pros have gone through the process. They know the grind, they know the struggle, all that stuff. So make sure that you're getting a very good, reputable coach. So my total doesn't include those meal prep. It also doesn't include my coaching or my nutrition plan or whatever. That was together, but it doesn't include that stuff. Pretty much all that it included was my membership, the registration, my suit, my posing sessions, my heels, my hair, my nails, getting a mani and pedi, getting a facial, my makeup, my jewelry, tanning, hotel, polygraph test, and my coach cost. So getting my coach into the venue. So that's pretty much everything that I had to pay for my first competition. And you guys are never gonna believe the total amount that I paid for all of that stuff that I just said was $2,229.17. Insane. Okay, I just thank God that I had money in savings to really be able to spend for my first competition. Again, this is not a cheap sport. This is going to be a sport that's really expensive, and don't play with this sport, because people ride for this sport. People love this sport. People literally put their bodies through so much to win their pro card or step on stage and look their absolute best. And out of it, a lot of people get mental health like issues, body dysmorphia. People don't eat because they think they have to be shredded. It's a whole thing, just like any other sport. This is a very competitive sport. So just make sure that when you are entering into your first competition, you're taking it very serious. I took it very, very serious. If you don't know my story, it's fine. Like, I wanted to play volleyball and I ended up hurting my shoulder a little bit, couldn't play. So I was like, well, let me try bodybuilding. I need a new challenge. I want to really enjoy my look. I want to feel more confident. But I was battling going into my first show for months before this. I wanted to play volleyball, but it didn't work out. So when it didn't work out, I was like, okay, this is my sign. I need to do something different with my fitness. Let me go all in. Let me be serious about it. But I was battling entering into the bodybuilding world and doing my first competition for months. So making sure that you're really thinking about it, you're really taking your time thinking about it, you're really sure that you want to do it, and you really commit to it fully. So I hope that this video helped anybody who is a first timer and wants to know how much it is going to cost to enter into your first bodybuilding competition. It is a great experience. It is a 10 out of 10 experience. I will say that it is one of the best experiences that I have ever gone through. You learn so much discipline, you gain so much confidence, and just make sure you have a good, really, really, really good support system behind you to constantly encourage you and to keep you going, because the process is not easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it, you guys. But I encourage you, if you're a first timer, to go all in. Like I said, it is a beautiful, I'm sorry y'all, my dog barked because they going crazy outside. But a beautiful experience. Again, making sure that you're going all in. And even if you never, ever, ever compete in a show again, you're going to absolutely change your life. You're going to have an amazing transformation, especially if you reverse diet correctly, you reverse workout correctly. If you have a coach to guide you through that as well, just making sure that you enjoy every single second and you just trust the process. So I hope this video helped. As always, you guys, again, don't forget, be subscribed to the Pretty Fit Life channel. Like this video, drop comments down below. And as always, stay pretty fit, fam. And I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.